Hey everybody! So tonight we're going to talk about request parameters and path variables. You've probably seen both of these if you've ever worked with a web framework such as Ruby on Rails or Node.js or anything that really uses a REST API, possibly even another Java framework such as the Spark framework. What we're going to do tonight is explain how it all works in Spring. So I've already made a basic Spring Boot app. The one dependency we've added has been the Spring Boot Starter Web. And in here I've imported our REST controller just to save some time since that's covered in other videos. What we're going to do is we're going to create a new request mapping with a value of root, and a method is going to be a get method. And this is going to feel like a contrived video because it is. We're not going to use a database or anything. We're simply going to work with a get call and a delete call and just leave it at that. So just go ahead and generic get method request param required equals false, name equals name. Get these imports fixed. Give this a string name. We're going to go return hello generic person, return hello plus name. And now what we're doing here is we're going to check and see if the request parameter is present. So if name is not equal to null, if name is equal to null, or name equals empty string, then we're just going to give a generic greeting. Otherwise, we're going to go ahead and give the greeting of hello there plus your name. Similarly, we're going to create a delete method. And this delete method is going to be a generic delete method. And this will work with any kind of database that you might want to use, which is why I'm not doing it with a specific implementation. That's covered in another video we have for the Mongo database part. So request param required equals false, name equals name, string name, path variable, string ID. So now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing here. If name equals null or name dot equals this, then we're going to go return deleted entry number, deleted entry with value plus ID. And this is a general use case that you'll use quite commonly if you're ever using this, is to just use an ID to delete. So we're going to go in here and say otherwise to hello there plus name plus deleted entry with value plus ID. And what this is doing now is you can see we have a request parameter that's not required. The request parameter is what you use when you're going to use the question mark to designate a parameter that goes through, whereas the path variable is where you're going to pass an ID across. So we're going to get an error here in a second. If we don't, there's a problem because this should come through with the slash, and then we're going to need a $ID. It didn't give an error, so it's probably going to go at runtime. So we're going to start this again. This $ID, or the curly's an ID, says this is a path variable. And it's referencing to a data source or to a REST resource, such as a blog article that you might have named already or a database entry. So what we're going to do here is now that we started, we're going to run this. Hi there, generic person. And if we go name equals Azadi, hello there, Azadi, Joe, it just works. Now, if we were to go to Postman, which I think I have installed, and I don't, then we can also do this, and I'm just going to pull Postman down right now. Don't want to sign up. Just take me to the app. So now we're going to do a request. and we're going to scrap that. We're just going to do a simple delete request, localhost 8080.1. We hit send, deleted entry with value 1. What if we were to do this with value 5? Deleted entry with value 5. Now, the request param comes in differently because we can go name equals Azadi. Although there's Azadi, deleted entry with value 5. So the parameter is something that comes in and is referenced, whereas the name is a parameter. It's independent of the path, but if you were to try to run this without the parameter, you're going to get an error. Deleted entry with value name is Azadi because it saw it as a string. So it's not going to do what you expect it to do the same way as it would with the endpoint parameter. Request method delete not supported on that path, which is exactly what we'd expect because it's expecting something before it. It doesn't care if that's going to be the word hello. All it cares about is that you followed the contract you wrote. So that's what a request parameter is versus a path variable. Hope that's helpful. Enjoy.